Hi guys, I'm Kristen. Welcome to part 3. I'm calling this The Search. It's my 6-part series on just kind of my tools and tricks I used along my journey. Part 1, of course, my first teacher was Gaia and tapping into my senses. Part 2 was learning how to quiet the mind and some of the tools that became my teachers for that. And this is the search. You know, I learned once I started to quiet my mind, I was getting curious about stuff. So I was curious, so I was searching, right? And I was searching for teachers. But what I didn't know is that deep down I was really searching for myself. Oh, that's kind of funny. So welcome to my bookstore. Books were a huge teacher for me. And I kind of laid them out here, and these are some of my favorites, so feel free to screenshot them. But I just started to explore. Read a lot, especially that first year. I also tried going to different churches. I tried Reiki and energy healing. I tried yoga. I tried breath work. I tried tarot readers. I tried psychics. So I just started trying stuff. And what I realized was, you know, through it all, I was expanding. And it was fascinating for me. But as I was expanding, another thing was happening. And it was that I was connecting with new and different people, right? People that grew up totally different than me, that had different beliefs or values than me. Definitely, we didn't perceive, you know, everything the same. And that's okay. It was exciting for me. And it just kind of fueled my curiosity even more. And what I realized through it all was, you know, the person before I started this journey would have definitely retreated in fear or pulled back in judgment. I was softening into it and seeing polarity, right? Not as something separate, but as something unifying, because I was allowing the curiosity to flow and expand my wisdom and consciousness and teach me things that I hadn't ever tried before. And through that, the relationships just grew. And what I ultimately realized is that we don't have to go on these journeys alone, right? We're not here to return to ourselves all by ourselves. You know, we're humans. We need connection. You know, the books might be the connection, but it's going to be in the conversations and the sharing that the transformations start to happen. And I just wanted more and more, so I was gravitating to it. You know, and through this gravitation, I was stepping back, and it was like, well, how does this affect my day-to-day? Is it in my thoughts? Is it how I treat my body? Is it how I love myself? Is it how I trust myself? Is it how I respond to relationships and circumstances? And you know, at the time, I didn't catch it, but yeah, it was showing me that it is all connected. My healing journey was my own, but it's also very connected. There's something much bigger out there that is full of love and life and peace. You just have to follow it and you have to soften into it. So how was I going to learn, to do that? To incorporate it daily? Accountability partners. It seems kind of harsh to call them that, but I needed to be held accountable. I needed somebody to help me hold myself accountable. So yeah, in some ways they were a mirror reflecting back to me where my growth was and where my patterns still would rear their heads. They challenged me to think outside of the box and expand or follow something that obviously was nudging me. They just created relationships and spaces that were safe for me to show my feelings, feel into it, be vulnerable, and talk like I have never talked before. So yeah, they held a space and helped me hold myself accountable, and I'm very grateful for that. We don't return to ourselves alone. It's through the people we meet, the experiences, the communications. It's all very transformative if we soften into it and allow the polarity to not separate us, but unify us. My first accountability partner was Katie, and she's here in Kansas City, and I just wanted to try something different and new, and she came referred to me by a friend, actually. And I can remember meeting her the first time. She opened the door and she looked at me and she's like, yeah, your energy's a little scattered and off, and you're definitely not in flow. And I'm like, what does that mean exactly? I mean, obviously I'm there because I wasn't feeling the feels, right? So, but what does that mean? So I sat with her, and gosh, I think that first meeting might have been 2.5, 3 hours long. And let me tell you, I still have that notebook. But she just showed me something that I wouldn't have probably tried unless I followed my curiosity. And she was tapping in and using her intuitive messages, guides, my dad came through, my grannies came through, archangels, to help me understand myself better and to look at these experiences that I unloaded on her with a much wider lens. I saw Katie probably every 2 months for probably a little over a year, and we're friends today, and I still certainly see her if I need something. So yeah, follow it, because if I wouldn't have just let go and tried new things, I never would have landed on her and never would have begin to see that even though our journeys are our own, it's also unity and the remembrance is through the relationships and speaking. So thank you, Katie. My second one is Jamie, and she actually came to me, oh gosh, it's been about 2 years now. And I landed on her, honestly, because a friend did a reading with her, and somehow I was in that reading offering something to say. So I found that fascinating. And Jamie and I did not know one another. So of course I called her. And I'm like, I would like to schedule a reading. And lo and behold, It was just a very different expansion, if that makes sense. It's almost like it went to a whole other level. She taught me to trust myself, to show myself more grace and compassion, to flow, to forgive myself, and to look up. She helped mentor me on my book, and through taking one of her classes, helped me to tap into my intuition and know that the random pictures or words or sentences are messages, that it's a universe, right? It's energy. And we are one, and we are love. So it was just a whole other level of expansion for me. It had, I went back and forth. Patterns tried to rear their head, right? I tried to pull back and say, but when I really relaxed into it, I've had a lot of growth this year and a lot more, little nudges to learn some new things and expand even more my curiosity. And it's been very peaceful and very loving, and I'm very grateful for Jamie. And then the third one I just want to mention really quick. We didn't have a talking relationship, but one of my first curiosities was astrology, right? If everything's energy, these planets, do they repeat patterns? Is energy in patterns? So I started listening to Jimmy, the Great Awakener. He has a website, and Jimmy, the Tarot Ship. I started listening to him, and wow, I have learned a lot, and he really sparked my love of astrology. Not that it, shows me what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. It's just, everything really is patterns, right? And I never would have said that before. I never would have thought to consider cycles or the moon, the earth, the sun, So I highly recommend, if you're interested in that, to give him a follow. And I'll put his link in this description, but yeah, I'll put all three of their links in the description. They're all three very loving, good energy, high vibes, authentic people that I definitely feel very fortunate to have had in my life. Yeah, so again, everybody has their own journey, their own path. I'm not saying mine is the right way to do it, so just take what resonates. And if you have any questions or want something more specific, feel free to let me know that too. And then just remember, trust yourself, choose you, and we each have our own path and our own time. And that's the beautiful thing about being beautifully human. Love and light. You choose you.